Hey guys, this is EckhartsLadder. Hello and welcome to what today will be a very quick Star Wars Legends lore video. Now, if you want more content on X2, today we uploaded a complete breakdown of the R-Wing from Star Fox, the main fighter that you use. And at 8:40 Eastern Time, so not long after this video goes live, I will also be finishing my playthrough of Star Wars Jedi Academy, one of the best Star Wars games out there. With that being said, today we're examining the Battle of Endor, and for a ship junkie, one of the most iconic moments of Return of the Jedi is when brave rebel pilot Arvel Krynid kamikazes his A-Wing into the bridge of the Super Star Destroyer Executor, leading to the vessel's demise, and that really sets off a lot in the Star Wars galaxy. Not only does the Battle of Endor continue to turn for the Alliance, with the Empire getting a major morale loss and generally becoming disoriented as the rebels make their final attack on the second Death Star, but even after the battle was lost and the Death Star was destroyed, the Imperial fleet was left without a clear flagship, and although command did eventually move to Captain Pelion, the lack of a symbol like the Executor caused many Star Destroyer captains to take their ships and sort of do their own thing. This would be emblematic of the coming decade. What's more though, the Executor was also the home of many of the Empire's brightest pilots, officers, and personnel. Heir to the Empire talks specifically about the sheer loss of talent associated with the Executor's destruction. I mean, this was meant to be the greatest ship leading the greatest fleet in the Imperial Armada, so the results were devastating. That, however, is off topic. The real question is, well, how did the ship go down? Was the destruction of the bridge by that A-Wing really enough to doom that vessel? Is the Super Star Destroyer really that poorly designed that a strike against the bridge from a single kamikaze fighter will be fatal? And no, there's actually a lot that had to go right for the Rebel Alliance in this situation to actually destroy the Executor, so let's talk about it. And a lot of this information actually comes from both the full and junior novelizations for Return of the Jedi, but I also think just generally they make a lot of sense. First of all, we know that the Executor was actually overwhelmed by the Rebel fleet. Now we get this in Return of the Jedi, and this is the thing that people always mention. Before the A-Wing crash, we hear Admiral Ackbar order the Rebel fleet to engage the Super Star Destroyer, and it seems like this was a significant portion, if not all, of the Rebel fleet. However, even before this point, it seems like the Executor may have taken some damage, as the novelization explicitly mentions that the ship was having some issues with its guidance systems. To be frank, the Super Star Destroyer is an extremely powerful enemy. However, all Super Star Destroyers with all of their power in one place can absolutely be overwhelmed by more numerous craft. You can take advantage of a Super Star Destroyer's lack of maneuverability. You can put large cruisers near the rear of the ship to engage without getting a lot in the way of damage, and when it comes to the Rebel Alliance, one of their most effective strategies was the trench run defense. This basically involves starfighters getting as close to the superstructure of large ships as they could, where the capital ship guns would have a hard time taking them out. So Rebel starfighters and capital ships were swarming the Executor, and eventually they managed to overwhelm several shield projectors, including the one covering the bridge. So that, I guess, is the first aggravating factor against the Empire here. The second would be the fact that the A-Wing is basically the perfect craft to kill a Super Star Destroyer. This was always one of my favorite facts as a kid reading Star Wars books, but basically the front of the A-Wing was built in such a way with shielding and I think extra fuel reserves such that any sort of ram maneuver would be extraordinarily successful. And on that note, Arvel's suicide run was not a mistake. Yeah, he was shot down and his ship was probably going to crash, but he aimed it specifically at the bridge, hoping to disable the Executor. Again, all stuff you might know, but let's move on. The next major factor was that the Executor, at least in Star Wars canon, had severely damaged engines by the time of its destruction. So not only had the Rebel fleet managed to somehow damage the Super Star Destroyer's guidance systems, but according to Lost Stars, the Executor's engines were also disabled. And again, this is what happens when the ship is under a sustained fire from multiple Mon Calamari cruisers. So with the engine dead, the Executor was not able to fight against gravity, or at least not successfully, which definitely contributed to its demise. And this is a tactic the Alliance would also use at the Battle of Jakku with the Ravager. Before the Starhawk took that dreadnought down to the planet's surface, an attack run was ordered against the ship, which saw its engines destroyed, and I really like this detail. We know that it was Krista Agate's plan to take down the Ravager, and I like to think that maybe she partially learned from the Battle of Endor. There's more though. As the Executor was crashing, we know that it actually took out several other ships on the way down, and this would have exaggerated the situation. The novelization specifically mentions 10 fighters, 2 cruisers, and an ordnance vessel, but by far the most serious factor was simply the Executor's proximity to the Death Star. In any ordinary situation, the loss of an Executor's bridge would not alone be enough to disable or destroy the ship. The Executor and all Super Star Destroyers have several auxiliary stations, secondary crews, damage control crew members, and more. However, in this case, the Executor was so close to the Death Star that there just wasn't time to get everything in place, and again, that's explicitly mentioned by the junior novelization of Return of the Jedi, and that's a major tactical error made by Admiral Piet, and maybe that's why we get the Piet you fool quote in Star Wars Battlefront 2. Not only was the Executor so close to the Death Star that it was immediately under its gravitational pull, and I guess the loss of repulsors or whatever else caused by the bridge's destruction was enough to allow the Death Star's gravitational pull to take over, but the distance between the two ships was just so small that there simply was not enough time. So the loss of one of the Empire's greatest vessels was caused not only by great tactics on the part of Admiral Ackbar and the Rebel fleet at the Battle of Endor, including some real bravery, but also by real Imperial stupidity. To be honest, there's no reason to have the Executor that close to the Death Star. Keep it, on the rear line, firing at the enemy fleet. You've already overwhelmed them with Star Destroyers. Use the Executor to maintain a perimeter or something. But that's just my opinion. Hope you guys learned something from this video. I enjoyed making it. Is there something else about the Battle of Endor or Star Wars or whatever else you'd like to learn? Let me know down in the comments. And just a reminder, we will be doing that stream in just a little bit. So until next time, guys, have a good one, and may the Force be with you.